One thing about me is I'm always hitting up garage sales, thrift stores, antique malls, looking for gems. The thing is, 99% of the time, I never find anything, but this past weekend, the sneaker gods were with me.
A blessing from the Lord. God be praised.
This is one of the biggest steals I've ever gotten. I paid 30 bucks for a pair of 85 Jordan 1s. But this isn't your ordinary 85. Today, we're gonna be restoring these taller Chicago 85 Jordan 1s. This pair is crazy, you guys. I've never restored a shoe this small. It's gonna be my first time. Now on eBay, as is, this shoe goes for a few $100. Brand new with the box, it could go for a couple $1,000s. These shoes as is are in pretty rough condition. I don't wanna do anything to devalue the sneakers. I just wanna make them look better and get them ready for display. I paid 30 bucks for these. Once I'm done with them, they're gonna be worth a few $100. We have some work to do. This project is gonna be fun. Let's get to work. Off the rip, the silhouette on the taller 85 Jordan 1s is very different from your standard 85. As you can see, there are some clear differences. Starting with the back, the taller has a strap. The soles are very different. On this one, you have the Wings logo on the black. On your standard one, it's on the red. The black material is the exact same as the collar material. It's ready to crack. Kind of hard to tell, but the tongue tags are different. On the taller pair, you have 3 holes on the inside. Basically, the only thing that's the same is the colorway and the swooshes. Together though, it's a cool display piece. As far as this project goes, all I want to do is up the value on them, make them ready to be displayed. I don't want to do anything crazy to devalue them. I don't want to start caking the shoe with paint. My main focuses is to reshape the toe box, reshape the collar area, clean up the sneaker, touch up any little areas that need some paint, and clean up these laces. Another cool thing about this awesome find is that these shoes came with both the black and white laces, and I'm pretty sure on the inside they come with small insoles. Let's find out. First things first, I'm gonna take out the shoelaces very carefully. I don't know if anything's fragile on these sneakers, so I can clean those up separately. This project doesn't even require all 10 fingers, just 4. Baby 85 laces, these are just as rare as the sneakers. They are extremely dirty, but they're in great condition. I'm gonna go next door, use the compressor to remove any surface dust. Afterwards, we're gonna start the cleaning process. These have potential to look brand new again. Now I got my Reshoevn8r bowl with some water, 4-ounce bottle of our solution, and a soft bristle brush. For the shoelaces, I'm gonna put them inside the water, give it a good scrub with my hands using solution. Afterwards, I'm gonna break down that dirt using our soft bristle brush. Then we'll introduce the Vick 2000. Let's give 2 squirts. Not gonna lie, these laces are gonna be tough. They're still pretty dirty. I don't feel like that did anything. Next step is to put these back in the water and solution. I'm gonna put them in the Vick 2000 for a couple of days. I'm hoping with the UV rays, it can help remove some of these stains. Let's see how it goes. Getting back to the actual shoe, gotta do some prep work before I can clean up the sneaker. I'm gonna use the compressor. The thing is, I gotta do it at a low power. There's a lot of dust and debris all around the sneaker that's been sitting on there for so many years. Like any 85 Jordan 1, the collar area starts to peel, even the liner. The inside, you can see a lot of black debris. I wanna get that out, but at the same time, there's a good chance it's not gonna fully come out because I don't wanna destroy the entire collar area with the compressor. Let's be careful. It's cool. Made in Taiwan. Much better. Prep is complete, let's get on to the cleaning. Now in a regular cleaning, the first thing I would do is grab our shoe trees and put them inside the sneakers to remove the creasing and reshape the shoe. However, we don't sell shoe trees in this size, unfortunately. I wish we did, they would be super cute. Not only that, they would for sure reshape the overall sneaker. I'm gonna have to move on to plan B. I got some old school Reshoevn8r Microfiber Towels. They're pretty small, however, they're still too big. I'm gonna cut them up, stuff them inside the shoe. Hopefully that does a trick. Shoes are all stuffed. It's gonna make a big difference. Once the shoe's all cleaned up and dried, the toe box should retain its shape without the towels. Next, I'm gonna grab some solution, squirt 2 squirts inside our bowl of water. Typically, for any cleaning, I use all 3 brushes, soft, medium, and stiff. However, for this one, I'm only gonna be using 2 brushes, soft and the stiff. The stiff for the soles and the soft for a quick pass over in the uppers. For this shoe, I gotta be very careful, specifically on the collar areas and the tongues. For the collars, if I scrub too hard, the Wings logo that's barely there will completely wash away. Same thing with the Nike embroidery on the tongue. If I scrub on that area, the thread will just wash away as well. So with those 2 areas, I gotta be very careful. These brushes are basically the same size as the shoe, so A couple of passovers is going to complete the job. I just got to watch out for those couple of areas. Good to go with the soft. Uppers are starting to come back to life. Let's put this to the side and move on to the stiff bristle. For the stiff, I'm only gonna be focusing on the sole and the toe cap. The trick though is, since this brush is as big as a shoe, I don't wanna scrape at the uppers and cause more damage. All wrapped up with the soles and the midsoles, back to its original color. Every single piece of grime and dirt fully washed away. Took about 30 minutes. Now all that's left to do is to take care of the tongue. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. When it comes to the tongues on Jordan 1 85s, they're really difficult to clean. A lot of those stains have been sitting there for so many years. I'm gonna try my best to remove it. When it comes to 85s though, you do not want to use a soft bristle brush. Even though soft bristles are way too rough for this delicate material, specifically the tongue tag. The white material can handle it, but the patch, if I scrub too hard, the Nike Air embroidery will wash away. I've seen it happen before. So my solution to that is using a toothbrush with extremely soft bristles that are dense. I'm gonna dip it in water and solution, go in a circular motion all around. I'm gonna pat down dry. Probably gonna do this a good 6 or 7 times, honestly, until I can get it as clean as possible. When it's wet, even after all the scrubbing you did, it'll still look pretty dirty, but when it dries, it'll look so much better. I'm not expecting perfect results, but anything is gonna look better than this. So far so good. This cleaning's turning out great. As you can see, the leather is looking a lot healthier. The white is back to white. On the soles and the midsoles, I removed every little piece of grime. They look almost brand new. If you look at the tongue, it's looking a lot cleaner and it's got better structure to it. Now they're still a little bit wet. Before I let them fully dry, there's a couple more things I want to do. First, I'm gonna grab some Reshoevn8r wipes and try to hit up some details on the sneaker to get them as clean as possible. For example, all around the leather cut, there is still some dirt. I'm gonna get in there with my nail to scrub it all out. Now for the most part, the towels that I stuffed inside the shoe did a great job reshaping the toe box, but I think it can still get better using the iron method. I don't want to overdo it. I just got to give it a couple of passovers with a small iron and a wet towel. The thing you do want to watch out for is the red leather because it bleeds. Toe boxes are looking factory. We're done with that part. I'm hoping I can do the same thing with the collars. As you can see, they're pretty crushed all around. This one isn't too bad. This one's looking a lot worse. I don't think I can get these looking perfect again, but I'm gonna try my best using the steamer. I'm gonna put some gloves on so I don't burn my fingers. As I go, I'm just gonna be pulling on the collar up until it gets its structure back. The only thing I gotta watch out for, once again, is the Nike Wings logo. I don't wanna touch that part, because once it's hot and wet, there's a good chance it'll smear right off. 45 minutes later, this is where we're at. Looks a million times better, worked out way better than I expected. I even added some paint bottles inside with some shoelaces, so hopefully once it fully dries, it retains its shape. Next step is to put these shoes inside the Vick 2000. I want to remove some of the yellowing from the tongues, some of the yellowing as well from the toe caps and midsoles. I don't want to get them back to brand new white, so a couple hours will do the trick. So far this restoration is going way better than I expected. I got the shoe out of the indoor setup. A lot of the yellowing came out of the midsole, the toe cap, and obviously the sole. It's got a nice cream tint to it. Even the tongue got a lot wider. When it comes to 85s, they're never gonna go back to brand new white. The shoes are extremely old. Plus, when it comes to these OGs, you don't wanna make them look super white. It makes them look weird. Another thing that turned out great is the collar areas on both sneakers. If you look at both of them, it's got a nice round shape. A lot of those creases came out nicely. Once I'm fully done with this restoration, I'll take out the paint bottles and it should retain its shape. Basically, all this has to do is do some minor touch-ups on the leather. I don't want to give it a brand new paint job and cake on white, red, and black all over the sneaker. All I really want to do is do some minor touch-ups on the toe cap area. As you can see there are some scuffs. I'm just going to go ahead and touch it up Leave some of the patina there to keep the vintage factor on there. The key to this though is getting the perfect shade of red. Especially if I'm just doing touch-ups, it's gotta blend in with the original tone. For this mixture, I use hot pink, autumn red, fire red, and chili red. For the most part, when it comes to 85s, these are the colors I use. The red is all over the place when it comes to the OG ones, Chicago's or Breads. There is no perfect shade of red. If the shoe is extremely beat, the shade is gonna be darker or just completely faded off. If it's a brand new sneaker, sometimes that red is a lot more vibrant, or if the shoe is brand new, but it's been on display for several years, there's a good chance that color has faded. So the best thing you can do for any restoration on 85s, you just wanna mix the red specific to each project you're working on. You don't want to have one shade of red for every single 85. They're going to be different every single time, so keep that in mind. I'm also going to be using some white and cream mixed up to touch up some small areas in the white leather, specifically this little scratch on the back area. Again, when it comes to this paint job, it's going to be very minimal. Real quick though, with some 800 grit sandpaper, I'm going to sand some of the rougher areas. Red looks good, didn't overdo it, can't even tell it's been painted. All that's left to do is to touch it up with some white paint. Gotta mix it up first with some cream and duller to remove the shine. Painting part of this restoration is complete. There's only a couple details left. I'm gonna grab some scissors and remove all the loose threads, specifically on the Nike tongue tag and all around. It makes a big difference at the end once the shoe's laced up. Speaking about shoelaces, check out the results on the white ones. Like I mentioned before, brand new. These cleaned up extremely well, you guys. At first, I was pretty iffy if these were even gonna clean up. They sat inside the bowl of water with solution inside the Vick 2000 for several days. The first few days, they looked the exact same, but this morning, I took them out, gave them a good scrub, and all that dirt and grime fully flushed away. Same thing with the black ones, back to new. Now, I was trying to figure out which color I should lace these up with, white or black. I like both ways. Originally, they were laced up with both, so I'm just gonna lace them up the exact same way I got them. All right, guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on this full restoration on these infant 1985 Chicago Jordan 1s. Just because they're smaller doesn't mean it's less work. This took me just as long as a regular restoration. All the work that went into these sneakers still took some time. Putting them in the indoor setup, cleaning them up, mixing the paint, touching them up, all that stuff still takes time, you guys. If anything, it might have been a little bit harder to work with just because of how small they are. Even lacing them up took me a lot longer than usual. Now there's still one step that's left to do, and this step is extremely important. These shoes are from 85, 40 years old. I doubt they've ever been cleaned up or reconditioned. Reconditioning a sneaker is extremely important, especially on older shoes. It keeps the leather healthy for years to come. When the leather dries out, it tends to crack and fall apart, and that's when the sneaker is no good no more. You can also use our Mink Oil to bring back the color on suede, recondition old leather on sneakers, or anything that contains leather. Mink Oil is the stuff to use. Mink Oil is the way to go. As far as this restoration goes, it's a night and day difference, you guys. The biggest difference in my opinion is a couple different things, but the first one being is the overall shape of the shoe. The toe box got its shape back. Even the collars, you guys, it's got a nice shape to it. Check out the tongue, nice and sturdy. It wasn't like that before. Now real quick, just for reference, I'm gonna show you guys how small these shoes are. These are a size 4, extremely tiny, the smallest shoes I've ever worked on the channel. Now, I'm gonna show you guys the other Chicago that I referenced earlier. These are a size 13, but this isn't even the biggest shoe I've worked on the channel. The biggest is a size 17 from Kevin Durant. Crazy. Size 17 is the biggest, this is the smallest. Now, before I wrap it up, let's spray some Mink Oil onto the shoes. Honestly, for this part, I'm gonna lay down a thick coat of our Mink Oil all around the shoes, so for the next few hours, the leather can absorb the Mink Oil. You can find all our products at Reshoevn8r.com. Use promo code BABY20. The leather and the collars are looking a lot healthier already. Not bad for only paying 30 bucks. If I was to go on eBay right now, I can definitely flip these for a few $100, but I'm not. They're going straight to the shelf on display with the rest of my 85s. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Vick Almighty. I'll catch you guys next Monday. See you guys.